Hello and welcome back to Journey Beyond. Today I will be previewing the Enchanted Christmas collection from the Sarah Signature Crafter Companions 2019 edition. So I did buy this on HSN. They do have some elements of this collection on the Crafter Companions website, but they don't have the whole collection available. So I'm just going to show you what I got from HSN. So we're going to start with the winter embellishments. So these are basically just wooden rubber stamps. You guys can see that. There we go. I try to put some more light here, you guys, so it could be a little bit better until I get some LED lights, because the lighting I have is just kind of like a warm, soft color, so sometimes the reflection, it just isn't so good. But I'm going to bring it up there so you can see it. So you have like a snowflake, a sprig of holly, some branches, a cluster of snowflakes, and then just some like berry leaves and some stars. And then as you can see there, the little rubber stamps there. And then you have 3 dies that come with it. So you have the festive fairies. They look like this. And then we have the Arctic deer. So some of the cards that I saw on her in the show that she actually does, they're actually made with the, a lot of them are already pre-made, but I know they made them with the sparkle inks, and which make them, they give them those beautiful, like gorgeous, sparkly, enchanted backgrounds. They are very pretty. This is a Christmas wreath with some stars and snowflakes in the back. And then let's see, forest vines. So these, the next 4 things I'm going to show you, these are stencils. So those are the dies, and these are stencils. So this one's forest vines. We have Twinkle Twinkle. Enchanting Snowfall. So I guess that's just like some flower on vines with some snowflakes on the sides. That's cute. Birch Forest. Now I really do like this. I actually have a, I want to say it's a foiling element that it's very similar to this. And then we have her 6x6 paper pad, which these are beautiful. So I have the fairy collection as well, which is like a springtime collection, fairy garden, and it has like this little house, and you can like open the door, and then in some of the videos I've seen her demo, she actually pops like a piece of her from that collection, like some of her paper behind that door with some fairies. That's kind of cool how they did that. This one, if you have that collection, I guess you could use that house too, but this one, or you can just pop it on the back side of a card and then just do all your stuff on here. It's really pretty. Some snowflakes, that beautiful winter forest. That's gorgeous. Look at that, you guys. Wow. So you can actually use these papers, or you can actually recreate them. So this one she actually kind of recreated, and she did it with the embossing folder I'm about to show you. It was really cool how she did it. She had like a step card, so it had a couple different elements that popped out at you. And then we have her 2 embossing folders. So this is called Sparkling Snow. The first time I embossed this, I mean, it's very pretty. But the paper I was using, I guess, just wasn't very good, so it actually cracked at the top right here. So I've only done it once. I actually haven't. I just took it out of the package so I could test it to see what it would look like. And then this one as well. So this one in her HSN demo, she actually puts, what she does is she opens this up, and then she puts like a white, oh sorry, you can't see that. So she puts like white opaque ink in there, pigment ink, and then she puts green color cardstock. And so how it comes out is the trees look like they're covered in snow on a green background. It's really cool how she did that. And then you get the next couple of things I'm going to show you are the stamps. So you get the forest foliage, And then you get Simply Stacks. So I wonder if the dies we looked at earlier, let's see, any match anything? Not really. No, they don't. Okay. We're going to look at the fairies here in a second too, you guys, see if we can. I think only one matches if I remember right. And this one's Sparkle All the Way, so these are all like your sentiments. So you have Twinkle, Making Spirits Bright, Enchanted Christmas, Sparkle All the Way, Believe in the Magic of Christmas. Cute sentiments. And then we have Fantasy Forest, so you're going to have all like your little miscellaneous things. So you have a bunch of different type of trees, you have your reindeer, you have Santa Claus, you have the little toadstool house, little toadstools. And then last but not least, you have the magical pixies. So let's see if any of these dies match these stamps. I think just one. I think it's just this one. If I'm looking at them right here. Let me look at it this way. Yeah, just the one. Yep, just that one matches. So I'm going to bring out another die. It did not come in this collection. It is a part of this collection, but it was not in this HSN collection. It's something that I accumulated after the fact. But I am going to bring it because I think it's really pretty and I can use it. And we're actually going to do my very first tutorial today, guys. So what I've seen is, like I said, a lot of the demos that she's done with these have done with the sparkle inks, but we're going to do them in just your classiques today. Or maybe the aqua markers. I'm still trying to decide which one I want to use. But I'll be right back. Let me just get some materials and I'll see you in a second. Alright guys, I'm back. So I was trying to decide on like what kind of background and what I wanted to do. So I have, this is about a 5x7 piece of cardstock, and I've already pre-folded it. I saw on this one, I think I got a little bit of blue ink from another project I was doing, so this is actually a perfect one to use. So the other two pieces I wanted to show you that did not come in this collection, but that are a part of the Enchanted Christmas was Magical Moonlight, which is really cute. I'm not sure if I want to use this yet or not. The stamp and the die, and this one is Winter Wonderland. So this has Wishing You a Magical Christmas, Sparkle All the Way, Winter Wishes. So those are the little sayings you get. And alright, you guys, let's get started. So when I usually do a background, I don't really pre-plan anything. I'll look at the stuff that I have and then I'll just kind of build from there. So thinking about this one, I wanted to kind of do like a moonlight type background. So I wanted to make a big moon like she has in like some of the pictures, like, you know, that she has like right here. You can see the big moon. So I really like that idea. So I actually just have like a tin can. I got this from the Dollar Tree, I think. And I can just use that to kind of trace around or color around when I'm really ready to make my big moon. So what I want to do, I was thinking the background could be kind of like a, oh, I don't know, like a, I was thinking like purple, but then I was like, well, maybe blue, like a blue background. So I'm going to use a couple of different inks. So I'm going to be using, this is Hero Arts. This color is Dusty Blue. And I do like to label some of my smaller ones, like my smaller ink, my little ink cubes. So before I got into Crafter's Companion, I did buy a few Hero Arts things, and I do like their stuff. But some of it, like I just did a video on their latest monthly kit, and I just wasn't impressed with it, just the way it was packaged. But they still have good stuff, just wasn't impressed with that package. I made some really cute cards. But so I'm just going to kind of, and you guys can do this however you want. This is just my creative process here. So I'm just trying to visualize in my mind like how I kind of want it to look. So the background, I was thinking it could be kind of like a blue with a lot of darker undertones, because a lot of the stamps in this set are silhouette stamps, so they don't really, so if you're going to use black ink to do those, they're not going to have much color to it. I mean, you could do it in other inks, like you could do probably brown, depending on like how dark or light you want the scene. But just remember, none of this has to be perfect. I mean, I guess for those card makers that sell your cards, and maybe it does, but if you're new and this is something you're just trying, just go with whatever works for you and what feels right to you, and get your own feel for what you like, what's comfortable for you. And there is no right or wrong in this, you guys. This is definitely a learning process, and it's something that, it's a lot of fun and that you should feel very passionate about. And it's you're making it out of love. And let me see if I can adjust that light. Let's see, you guys. Oh, you guys are not going to be able to see that. All right. We'll figure it out. We'll just do the process, and then maybe I'll have to take pictures where they're clear. I am getting another light, you guys, I promise. I need to get, like I said, an LED light or film it during the day, because at night these soft, warm colors just don't do it justice, because it kind of casts a really warm glow, so you can't see this. Like I'm looking at it and I can see it's blue, but in the video it just looks like a bunch of gray. Okay. So next I decided I'm going to use a stencil, the Enchanting Snowfall stencil. And I'm just going to kind of put it around. The reason I have the card open like this too is I really don't want to bleed through onto this. I have done cards where I've done it like this, and then when I start to color it in with my markers, or even with some of my inks, it will bleed through. So I'm going to use some low tack tape. This is the Crafter's Companion low tack tape. I really like this tape. I think it's great. I used to use the, what do you call it? The painter's tape, and sometimes I would get like leftover residue and it would just irritate me, and I was like, ugh, I could see it on my cards and it would just bother me. So I'm just going to kind of tape that down. And so you don't like have to get it perfect, just like enough. I know they advise you to use stick and spray or any type of adhesive that would hold it down better. We're just kind of winging this, and I'm kind of just taping it to the mat, to the card, just so we can do kind of like a quick card. And like I said, you're going to have a little, but what I do is usually when I'm doing stencils, I just hold it down. So this other part, I just want a darker color. So I'm actually going to start with a gray color, and then I'm probably going to mix some charcoal or some brown into it, or maybe some purple. We'll see. We'll see how this looks. So this I'm using, this is Crafter Companions Twilight Gray. And I do have to get a little sponge for this one. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to use this. This is my blending tool, but I'm not going to use a blending tool. I'm actually going to use a different tool. I'm going to use, if I can find it. Let's see. It's not quite this one. It's a smaller one. I wonder if that will work. We'll find out, you guys. So I'm just taking this. This I bought like a whole set of these at like Walmart for $5, and it comes with a bunch of brushes like these. There's some miscellaneous things like in here, but not the scissors, I think, but just like these brushes right here, these little cheapy brushes. They're like $5. Not a bad deal. I mean, let's see. So I'm gonna use this. So I have never used this color before. I just got it in an order. So you're just gonna kind of tap so you could see the color bleed on. And then you're gonna just kind of go over it. So again, you guys, this doesn't have to be 100% perfect. You're just trying to get background color in there. I know you guys are probably like, oh gosh, that doesn't look very pretty. It's all the creative process. That's the beautiful thing about ink, is you can always, if you don't like it, you can always go over it with a different color, which is great. So as you can see, I'm just kind of so we just want this very, just kind of wherever. I'm kind of avoiding the snowflakes, as you can see, and the stars. So now I'm going to use a purple. So this one also is from Hero Arts. And this one is called Passion Flower. Oh, my little sticker fell off somewhere. So I usually label them. I did order a set of those ink trays, like they had just had them on sale. It was like two trays for, I think, $19.95 or something like that on Crafter's Companion, and you get 6 trays, and I think 6 trays holds like 18 inks. And I wasn't going to buy them because we just had a now, so I'm just kind of going over the purple, the flower parts with the purple. So we just had a Pier 1 close right by our house, so I'm not entirely sure if they're going out of business, but they had told me like 3 out of their 7 stores has closed, and I live in Las Vegas, so I was a little surprised to see that, you know, because for the most part we have everything here, and I was shocked that they closed, but I don't know. But I actually ended up buying some of their store furniture. And I remember coming home with it, and my husband was like, "What are you going to do with that?" And I was like, "Well, honey, I'm going to put it in my craft room." And he was just like, "Oh, yay." But I'll have to show you guys that another time. It's really cool. I'm glad I bought it. It was like 50% off or 70% off or some crazy thing like that. And I actually got some like a display shelf and like a what do you call it, like a display, it's like a big rack, and they kind of look like bowls, and they hold, like, you know, inventory. So I have a lot of my craft stuff in that, and I think it's beautiful. I really like it. Okay, so let's see. So we have some purple, we have some gray shadowing down. You guys can see that right there. I'm probably going to throw in some charcoal just for the vines, but let me put a little bit more purple. So again, you guys, you can do, I mean, you can use whatever colors you want. You can color a lot of the vine, a little bit of the vine, however, you know, you like it, or what color scheme you want to use, whatever appeals to you. I'm just going with what's on the top of my head right now for guidance. This next one I was actually going to use black, but I don't know if I want to use black. Maybe I'll use a darker blue. Maybe I'll do some black accents with this. We'll see. Okay, so the next color I'm going to use is called Sapphire. So this is also Hero Arts. This color in particular, though, I don't think you can buy it separately. I bought it with a kit. And the kit, and I'm going to have to preview this because I made some beautiful cards with it. It's like their it was like their 2017 December stamping set, or whatever it was, and it was like a Sahara theme. Oh gosh, you guys, it was so pretty. So pretty. I loved it. It was so pretty. It's like, it almost looked like an Aladdin theme. So I haven't actually sent those cards out just because I love them. They're so beautiful. They're my favorite cards that I've made so far, except for one. There's one other one that I made recently, and my husband really liked it. He's like, "Oh, that's the best card you've made," which I don't agree with that, but you know, whatever. So I'm just kind of coloring these in, as you can see, and it doesn't matter, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. If it gets on the other side of the paper, who cares, you know? This is from the heart. This is just experimenting, so you could try this, you know, and then maybe try something different. You know, as you get better, or, you know, if something more that you like, you can do the next card and do it better. So for your first time, I mean, like, don't really worry about how it's gonna be, you know, it's not perfect, or you didn't get all the edges in, or whatever, because there's a couple techniques I can show you with some tools that you can use to, like, if you missed an area, how you can get those colored in. I actually have them sit next to me, so we're gonna see once I pull this off what it looks like. And then like I said, if there's color, like spaces that I missed, how you can go back and fill those in. Okay. I think for the most part. Okay, let's see how this looks, you guys. So I'll put that aside. My gosh, I have like dog hair everywhere, it seems like. I think it's on the sweater I'm wearing, so if there's dog hair in my card, I apologize. Okay. Oop. Okay. Wow, that's cute. So don't worry about if you do something like this, because you can always cover that up, so that's not a big deal. I find lots of ways to cover my mistakes up. So I'm just going to kind of go over the edges a little bit more right here with that blue that I used earlier. Kind of fill it in. I think I'm going to actually go back in with the purple too, just to give it a little bit of a dimension there. And these little blocks are great, you guys. Sometimes, like, whoops, sorry about that. See, like, these ones are great for, you know, when you're stamping. They're great for coloring too, but sometimes just like the smaller blocks are just better for, like, you know, they're just not as cumbersome as sometimes the bigger ones are. So I'm just adding some purple dimension in the background. And I really like, like I said, when I saw Sarah's cards on HSN, I really liked how she did them. And I know she did them with the sparkle inks. That's what gives it that like enchanted background. But I just wanted to do something a little different, because I have not yet used the sparkle inks, and I want to use them. And I was actually going to use it for this demonstration, but I was thinking, you know, what if somebody doesn't have the sparkle inks, you know, and they want to create a background? So you can do it this way with ink blending. And so we're going to do a little bit of ink blending, and we're going to use our markers and a few other things. Okay, so that's the background set for our scene. So now let's see, do we want to do a moon, you guys, or do you think that would be too big? That might be kind of big, huh? Let's see. Would that be too big? Yeah, because the moon's that big. I'll have to find something smaller. We can do a moon next time. So let's see. Alright, so you can just clean off your stencil with a microfiber cloth. As you can see, mine is very dirty. You can add, I have like a little spray bottle. Let me just move this card to the side so it doesn't get wet. So I just have like a little spray bottle, and all this has is, it just has basically soap and water. All I did is put some water with a little bit of, I want to say it's like even like dial soap or hand soap or something, and I just put very, very little. And yeah, that's what I do, is I clean my stencils, and then my brushes, or sometimes my stamps. So you just want to make sure, if you're going to do that and you're going to get your glass mat wet, just make sure you wipe it down really well. and then it's dry before you put your card back down, because the card I'm using is just cardstock. I'm not using watercolor card. So got that. So I'm going to pop this back in. And I'm one of those weird people, I do like to keep a lot of my stamps, dies, and stencils and stuff like that in their original packaging. Although I did buy their storage system, Crafter's Companion storage system, and so I'm trying to find a way to incorporate some of their original packaging into my storage books. Okay, so here's our card again. So if you can see it, so it's going to look like this in front. Okay, so now we're going to add some, let's see, we can add some trees, some fairies. I don't know if I want to use a die or not. Maybe I'll just do a straight stamp card. So let's open this one. Okay, so let's move that to the side. And let's open this one. And let's do, probably gonna do, this is the Fantasy Forest, man. So when you guys take this off, just be careful you don't pull too hard, because you can rip your stamp. So these stamps are acrylic stamps. These are not the photopolymer stamps. So I know I've heard some people, some other crafters that I've watched their videos say that these stamps are kind of a hit or miss. So sometimes when you ink them up, they don't grab the ink so well. So I've heard a few tricks you can do, which I have never tried them yet, but like you can use an eraser, you can lightly sand them to get it to grip better. See how hard this is to get off? Oh, I'm peeling my nail polish off. That's awesome. Okay, so you gotta pull a little bit. Just be careful, like I said, so you don't tear them, because they are very delicate. Oh my gosh, I'm having such a hard time taking this off. Okay, so we got the toadstool house, and I figure we can do some of these trees. Sorry you guys, I have so much stuff next to me you can't see that's out of camera view. I have all my stamps and all my dies over here. My stamps and my inks, and then I also have my Gemini Mini next to me, just in case I was going to use a die, but I don't think I am. I think I'm just going to just do a straight stamp and stencil card. So what I'll do is, because the lighting's so bad, so once I do this, I'll try to hold it up to the camera so you can guys see the color, but I might just take a picture of it and then add it to the end of the video so you can see what it looks like. Because the colors I use are very pretty. They're very, like, you know, fairy color, blue and purple and grays, and I'm going to add some other stuff. So let's start with these. I thought this was a very cute set. I mean, it is a little expensive though. I mean, oh my gosh, $100. That's steep, you guys. That is steep. So what I kind of like to do is I kind of like to put my stamps on my card to see how they're going to look before I actually stamp them, just to give me some idea of what the scene I'm going to make is going to look like. So some of this, like, you have to think, like, it's, so for example, so like this toadstool right here is just the same height as this, right? So then you kind of think, well, you know, so you could easily just move this back here, and you can create like hills and move this up, elevate it a little bit, move this down, you know, create some dimension there. So I think I like the way that looks. And then I want to add just some regular regular like pine trees. So again, you guys, you can stamp this in any color you would like. So this one, so you guys don't get confused. So the black on the front is just to give it dimension and depth so you can see what it would look like when it is inked. But I will tell you, some of the stamps are solely silhouette stamps. Oh my goodness, my nail polish is just coming off. So my nails probably look terrible by the end of this video, guys. But so some of them, and the way to tell if it's going to be like full color like that, if it's going to be, so when you look at the stamp, if it's completely dark like this, it will be completely smooth. Whatever color you stamp that in, that's the color it's going to be on the paper. So, so you don't get confused about that. And then see, we could, gosh, those are big. So then, let me get this other tree over here. I'm trying to figure out how I want to lay this out. Or maybe I'll use, hold on. Let's get a fairy. Oh, these fairies are kind of big, you guys. These are big fairies. So maybe we don't want to use the fairies. Maybe we want to use a stag. Because the fairy would be would be bigger than the toadstool house. That'd be interesting. I don't know. To me, that would just look weird. I mean, you can do whatever you'd like, but to me, that would just look a little odd. So let's do, we can do a stag in the background. And again, when I stamp it, you'll see what I'm talking about. So it has like the picture, and these are all silhouette. They don't have any like dimension or really to them. So I mean, you could color them with your alcohol markers, most definitely, but most of the stamps in this collection are silhouette stamps. So you're not going to get any fine detail or any whatever. So whatever, you know, color you're choosing to stamp them in, that's the color it's going to be. So a lot of this is going to be in black. I could probably do this one in brown. So let's see how I want to do this. I could make a hill there. And then let's see. And I kind of want to give that. Those look small. Let me figure this out. Okay. So I'm going to stamp this guy first. And then we're going to see how he looks and see if we like his placement. So I do have the magnetic stamper that works wonderfully, but I do like to use the Rock-A-Block sets. So when you guys are using this, these are great. So they kind of just go in this motion, so you're literally going to rock them. So if you can see right here, they have a little grid for you to center your stamp. And so when you're centering your stamp, so the smooth side, you're going to make sure the smooth side goes on the stamp, and then your etched side goes on the paper face down. So that's what's going to imprint your image. So what I do is I kind of just imprint it like where I want it to be. So I want it towards the bottom right here, because I'm going to create some hills or some type of background. And you just kind of place it down and then roll your stamp over it. So this one I'm going to put, I'm going to do him in a brown color. So the color I'm going to use, I have two different browns. I have Cup of Joe by Hero Arts, and I have Nest. Although, I think I misplaced my other one. So we're going to use Nest. Nest is kind of dark, but it's still cute. So this is Nest. This came in another My Monthly Hero Arts stamping kit. It was like a bird stamp. So I don't know if you guys can see this. So as I'm laying the ink down, you're just going to tap. Some people will do this, but what I find is, like, see this? I don't know if you can see the streaks. I feel like that the ink just kind of comes off. So that's some of the complaints I've actually heard about these stamps. A lot of people don't like is that the ink, especially when they're brand new like this, it doesn't adhere to them very well. So I've never tried the eraser trick yet. I'm gonna have to try that to see if that works or does anything. If you have a MISTI or a stamping tool, the great thing about those is when you close the lid or the door on top of them, it's going to stamp in exactly the same place. And Crafter's Companion actually has one too. They have a magnetic stamping base, and then it's like a spring-loaded plastic like screen that goes on top of it. So with these, you just got to be careful, like when you're stamping, that I like to wipe off around if I got any excess, especially right here. Especially right here, you just got to be careful, because if you have excess ink, sometimes it will stamp onto the paper. So I'm just going to kind of position it where I want it, and you're just going to roll. See, and that came out pretty good. I know this is upside down for you guys as I'm doing this. I actually just realized that, because usually in all my other videos I turn around. I turn the product around to show you. But you can kind of get an idea of what I'm doing here. And then, let's see. So I think I'm gonna put this here. Now this again, you can, so this one, you can actually, like, okay, I'm gonna show you a trick, you guys, you can do. So you can take this stamp, right? So say I want him right there, right? I'm gonna do this. And then I'm going to take my, I don't want that color. I'm going to use a different color. So I'm going to use another color by Hero Arts. It's called Green Hills. So now you can do these in color, or you can do these as in a silhouette image, however you would like. I'm going to do the bottom where the grass is. Right here, I'm going to do this green. Right? And then the mushroom, I'm going to do, now I don't want to give this scene too much color dimension, because it's, you know, it already has like those enchanting colors you kind of want to stick with. So I'm going to use a charcoal for the top of the mushroom. And see, all I've done here is I've done half of it in green and half of it in the charcoal color. You can kind of see that there. I'll just move those to the side. And I'm going to put it right where I want it. And there. Well, that looks really pretty, you guys. Wow, that's cool. Okay. So now I think, since these are kind of backgroundy, I'm going to put these, so I'm going to divide this. I know you guys are probably like, huh? Like, why do you want it all the way up there? So I'm actually going to create like a hill or something right there. So let's see. So if we did this, so these I kind of probably want in black, because they're going to be like a silhouette, like in the background, right? And then I'll probably do a few of these trees somewhere in here. Maybe, I don't know. I could do that right there and then do the trees in the background. I might do that. Okay. So this one, you can see it's a little bigger for the rock block. You can go up to the next size, or you can just turn it sideways. So when you do it, you could go like this, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to place my stamp, or you can place it on the paper first, however you guys, whatever you feel more comfortable with. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to stamp the bottom. I'm going to stamp the bottom of the stamp. I'm going to do it in green. And then the top of the stamp, I'm going to do it kind of in a charcoal color. Because I mean, even though you are giving some dimension to the image, you don't want to use, like for me, I don't want to use too many other off colors. I want to kind of stay in that mystic type of purple and blue, gray color. So then I'm going to come and I'm going to, so here, like I said, since it's sideways, you're going to start like this, okay? You're going to roll like that. So you're going to kind of place it where you want it. And then you're going to start here, and then you're going to roll it. There. Oh, that's great. Okay, good. All right, so put that to the side. And then I think I'll probably do a lot of these in black. So those will be kind of easy. They'll be quick. Let's see where my black ink is. So for a lot of my black ink, I use the Hero Arts Intense Black. And they have a different black color too. The Intense Black and then like Jet Black, I think, something like that. Just a second, guys. Let me grab that. Okay. I actually grabbed the Spectrum Noir alcohol proof, but I don't think I'm going to be coloring in my stag and my trees. So this is the Hero Arts Intense Black. So this, we're just going to kind of randomly place those. So if you want to do, or you know what you could do first, if you wanted to do your like a sentiment on the front, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, or sometimes I build the scene and then I'll do like a 3D sentiment. It's completely up to you guys. Let's see. We can do, gosh, these are all kind of, whoa, see, I'm getting that on my clothes. These are all kind of just big. I don't really, Let's do Enchanted Christmas. Or, no, let's do Wishing You a Magical Christmas. Let's do that one. So I'm going to take this off. Again, when you guys are taking this off, just be very careful because they can rip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sentiment there, and then I can build around my sentiment. Now you don't have to do this in black. Some of my cards I've done my sentiments. I've done them like in metallic pigment ink, and they're beautiful, like gold and silver. So here's a perfect example. When you're using a bigger pad, I got a lot of black on the sides right here, and sometimes I'm not paying attention, and then I notice how it gets right here, and then it will actually stamp onto my card, and then I was just not happy about that. So just be careful. Just be mindful when you are stamping to pay attention to that. Put that to the side. And again, you know, I'm just wiping the excess off with my microfiber cloth. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to go straight in the center, and I'm going to start from the bottom, push down, and I'm going to roll up. See? Just like that, you guys. So I know it's upside down, but I will turn the card around so you guys can see. I really need to get I need to reposition my camera in a different way. I'm actually looking at this whole new camera set on, I mean not camera set, what do you call it? Lighting set on Amazon. So maybe I'll just buy that because I really do need the LED lights because it's so soft in here. So I'm trying to see if I even want to build that up, you guys. I might not, actually, because of the way it's looking. feel like I could throw a stag in there, right? Maybe I should just do that. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna throw a stag right here on the bottom. I'm gonna do him in black as well. So let me put him here. And the great thing is, like, you know, because the stamps are clear, so you can kind of see through the stamp before you stamp it. Yeah, this is definitely a silhouette. So you can see through the stamp before you stamp it. And then you can see the other color around you, so you're careful not to stamp over there. Or even if you do a little bit, it's okay. So I'm going to line it up right where I want it. I'm going to come from the bottom and then roll to the top. And voila, there we go. So that kind of creates the illusion where you're not really seeing the stag, you're just seeing like the shadow of the stag. And then you have snow here. And then actually, you know, we could pop on a couple of we can use some of these right here and do that. So let me turn the card around. See, look what I did, you guys. So what I'll probably do is I'll cut this in half and then use the front, or I'll cover that up somehow. So this is what it looks like. I know you can't really see the color, and I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to take a picture. But this is just, you know, why don't you guys, you know, you can just practice. It doesn't matter, like I said, if you get it. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time, because this definitely is not perfect, as you can see. But it kind of gives you an idea of what you can do with the card, what you can do, how you can make the background, if you want to put a sentiment, if you want to do a floating like 3D sentiment with it. And then even like these little smudges right here, I kind of like those, because what that creates now is that could be like a snowdrift, you know, and then you can kind of fade it out. So what I was going to show you, the other tool, and I actually saw one of the gals use this. I know you guys, I'm sure you've seen this before. So these are called Fantasticks. And what these do is, like, say you colored something with your alcohol marker and it didn't come out, you know, like it didn't stamp all the way through, or you missed, like your stamp missed some of the coloring. You can actually take one of these and you can fill it in, like where there's no color. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take some of this blue and put it right here so you can see, and all I'm going to do is just kind of get this, just kind of get that wet with ink. So another tip on your ink, you guys, if you really take care of your ink and you store it well, and, you know, don't store it in sunlight, and you keep, you know, try to keep the lid on it as much as you can, and keep them in a nice dry place, you can, they will last for a long time. They can last up to 10 years. I mean, so that's another thing. And sometimes, you know, like we can't, you know, control like things that get sent to us. And sometimes I've heard people complain that they come dry. That's like a whole nother story, because they're just probably old stock, or when they ship, they didn't ship them good. But if you take care of your inks, they can last a long time. I have like an archival ink pad that I've had for like 7 years, and it's still juicy. So as you can see, I just added a little dimension here and then a little dimension there that kind of looks like snowdrifts. So it just kind of gives it like a little background that there's something behind. And you don't have to do this. I'm just doing this because I want to see what it's going to look like. But it just looks like there's like another, you know, background. And if I wanted to do like another hill, I definitely could, which I'm going to, just to see what it looks like. So here I am, I'm just drawing in just another hill in the background. See, and then it gives your card a little bit more dimension there. Like I said, it's not something you have to do. It's just something I'm experimenting with you right now, just to see what it looks like. So if I wanted to add those pine trees, right, I could. So I chose to do it in the sapphire color because it gives it like a dark background to get, you know, gives the impression of like snowdrift, ice blue snow. So now I could put, see, now I can put that. So now I think I'm going to put these pine trees because they look far away. They look like they're in the back. They look like they're in the distant, like they're in the dark. And that's what we want. Okay, so I'm going to put him in the center. I'm going to ink him up. And again, so what I do to clean those as well, all I do is I just spray my water and soap mix. And like I said, guys, you can use any soap. All I did, I think I put like maybe a few dots literally of like Dial hand soap or like Dawn or something, but very little. Your ratio is definitely gonna be more water to soap mix than soap mix. So again, I'm just wiping off the sides, wiping off any excess ink right here that I don't want on my card. And then I'm gonna line this up where I want it, and then go from the bottom, roll to the top. See, and that's beautiful, beautiful. And what you can do with this is I would let it dry for like a few minutes. I did order, and I don't have them yet, and I can't wait to get them, as the Crafter Companion Quick Dry Inks. I only have a few of them, like you saw. I have a few, but I can't wait to get it. Like, I don't have it in the black, and I really want to try it in the black because I really love the Hero Arts Intense Black and the Jet Black, but sometimes when I'm going to stamp, I forget that it doesn't dry like right away, and then I smear the image. So, as you can you see that already? And I didn't even realize that was there until I just looked at it. But that's okay, because it kind of looks like a shadow effect, which is perfectly fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the other side, and I'm going to do another tree, and then I'm going to do like just like that one. I'm going to just do the remnants. Do I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that, because oh man, I don't want to mess that up. Yeah, I will. I'll do a little bit like of a shadow because it's so light. Alright. Alright, hold on one second, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, you guys, I'm back. I just had a little disturbance with my dogs downstairs. So this is how the card looks. Oops, sorry, so far. Not bad, right? Okay, so now I'm just going to add just a little color to it. So this is a metallic pigment ink. This is by Colorbox by Anna Griffin. I did order this off of HSN a couple months ago. I don't have the Crafter's Companion one yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up these little stamps here, and we're going to do some stars in the background above the mountains. It'll be all nice and glittery. And then some of the snowflakes or some of the stars and snowflakes that I stenciled in earlier, we can just add a little bit of sparkle to that too. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So this is the stamp I'm going to use so you guys can see it. So I'm just going to use like a little star stamp. See how that looks. So again, if you're not careful, can you guys see that? So you wouldn't think that it would show if you stamped it down, but it might, because I've had that happen where I've pushed too hard and then got too much ink and it showed on the edge of the stamp. So we're just going to kind of stamp that there and here, just kind of randomly. And it doesn't have to be, see right there, you guys, you see that? A circle, but that actually is going to work out okay because it looks like a crescent moon. See how that worked out? But normally that's why you have to be careful when you stamp, because if you do get the color on the edge of the stamp, it's going to come out in your paper. So that looks really cute. Maybe just one more set. So I'm just going to lightly tap, and this is a pigment ink. So the great thing about pigment ink, it gives you beautiful vibrant colors, and this is a metallic color, but I have some other ones, and they just the color is just gorgeous. They're very, very pretty. They just take a little bit to dry, so just keep in mind. And I really like how that came out. That just was very lucky, you guys. So then I am also going to take I just have a Sharpie. This is a silver metallic marker. If you have like the Crafter Companions metallic, in silver or anything like that, you can use that too. So if you have a couple of, I don't really need to, maybe there's just this little smudge right here that I need to fix that it didn't quite come in. You can just kind of fill that in if you want. You don't have to. But it is pretty much the same color, so I'm just adding a little bit. So you want them kind of faint, like I did mine kind of faint. You guys can see that. They don't have to be exact. And then you have, let's see, do I want to do any of the, you don't have to, no, you know what, I'm not going to. I'm just going to have a little bit of green I need to cover up right here. So I'm just going to kind of make that like a shimmery vine, make it look like it's part of the picture so you can't even tell. And then if you want to do, like, I could do some of the vines if you want, just to give it some depth and shadow. You definitely don't have to do this step. I'm just doing it just to see what it would look like. It looks kind of cool. See, the great thing about stenciling is that you can make things look like very watercolor-like. If you guys can see this, I'm gonna have to, like I said, take a picture and show you what it looks like. But it looks very watercolor. So I'm just gonna put a little silver with the blue just to give it some color there. Not a whole lot, just a little bit here and there. Alright, you guys, now what I'm going to use my Wink of Stella pen. You can use your Spectrum Noir sparkle ink if you want. I would just be very careful because it is a very watery ink. So I would just be very light. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give this picture a little bit of shimmer. So I'm going to put this where all like the little snow caps are. Just to give it some color, some interest. And then when you actually see this in the light, when I'm finished, I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's very pretty in the light because you'll be able to see the shimmer and the sparkle. I'm going to do that to the moon. And probably just a few of the stars, not all of them, just a few. Because I have some blue stars on here that I kind of want to bring out the color in. Then you can do the snowflakes if you'd like. And all this does is just gives it a little bit of character. You can go over the metallic paint if you want. I'm doing very little because I think that metallic paint is still wet. So I don't want to smear it. So again, you guys, this isn't anything like super fancy. This is just a demo. I probably will use this card though, but it just looks very watercolor-like, and it's just very pretty, very simple card. So this is the finished card. I'm gonna have to take a picture, like I said, and show you the result because you really can't see the color in the camera. In the camera, all I see just looking at it looks like grays and dark colors, but it is very pretty. And that's it, you guys. So that's just one example of how you can use your Enchanted Christmas set. That was just totally off the top of my head, and that's just with stencil, blink, and ink blending and stamping. So if you wanted to use the dyes, if you wanted to make it a lot more colorful, if you wanted to use your sparkle inks to make that enchanted background, I want to try that too, like with the fairy, and see how that looks. But again, for the first time, it's not too bad. And yeah, so it's not hard, you guys. You can just, you know, we can all do this. We're all crafters. And imagination is the key, most definitely. But put your imagination to use. Show me how you've done this. Like, what kind of ideas have you guys come up with? I would love to see them. I would love for you to share with me. I will make some other cards in the future, and then maybe I can share them with you in a different video. Maybe I'll already make them so I can save you the process of me making them. See, look at my nail polish has come off from trying to open those packages. Alright, you guys, well, thank you for joining me for my very first tutorial, and I hope you like it. And if you have any comments or ideas you want to share with me, or share your own ideas with me, about things that you've made. Let me know your thoughts on this. And again, thanks for joining me. See you next time. Bye-bye.